Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me as a guest lecturer. And just a brief introduction about myself. I am Dr. Priyanka Malik. I've done my doctorate in school culture from Mumbai University, and my qualification is I'm master's in mathematics. I'm MEd and I'm PhD in IDU, that is interdisciplinary unit, which is a mix of education and mathematics together. So I've done statistical analysis in my research, and I've got 13 years of experience in teaching different types of boards, secondary and higher secondary of CBSE, GCSE, IB, and IGCSE. So currently, I'm just teaching HL level in the international board. Moving ahead with since I'm an educationist and as a teacher, as an educator, we actually cater to what actually being expected, how to train the students. When they work or they go for a job after 15 years or 20 years, things may change. So it is not the previously 15, 20 years back that we go about the content, but these are the skills that you should have that enhance, that your career opportunity or how to uh, see the way through life. So when you talk about our presentation is the four C's of 21st century learning, and how do we go about and what are these and how it helps the students in their future endeavor. That is something which is important. So what the question that comes in our mind is that what will learning looks like in the future, and what will be the world be like in 20 or so on from now years, the children who visit our institution or have left school or out of the school world. Second question that comes in our mind is that what skills will these children need to be successful in the world of you have imagined 20 years from now. Talking about the third question, what were the conditions that made your high performance learning experience so powerful? And then last one is what would learning be like if it were designed around your answers to the first three questions? Talking about the future, for us to grow, we have to educate people to do job that does not yet exist, which means we have to invent them and train them to do in the same time. This is harder, and yet it is. That's why we need everyone to aspire to be creative, creator, and creative server. So, what are 21st century skills? And why are the 21st century skills important? In the 21st century, expertise is less about having a stockpile of information or the fact at one disposal, and increasingly about knowing how to find and evaluate information on a given topic. All these qualities like empathy, discipline, and the capacity to solve problem, the capacity to think critically, these skills doesn't just change how the world sees you, they change how we see ourselves. They allow us to seek out new horizons and new opportunity with confidence. With the knowledge we have already, and we can face obstacle and challenges and unexpected setback. That's the powerful power of the education. Now, coming back to the main topic, that what are 4C and how do we inculcate in the our teaching? So, when we talk about the 4C, very, very important, these are the four um, skills of 21st century that our students should have or we should inculcate in them. So, that are creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. And how do we inculcate? What are they? Let us understand that. So when we move on to the first skill, which is collaboration, with collaboration, we should know what collaboration means. A collaboration occurs when two or more people work together to accomplish a shared common goal. So why it is important? Globalization and technology have made work environment more team oriented. Teamwork enables to build on each other's idea and prior knowledge. It also promotes collaboration and promotes diversity. High functioning team can also work faster and are more efficient than individual work, and result is better in problem solving and superior solutions are generated. Now, how does a student demonstrate? They demonstrate the ability to work efficiently and respectfully with the diverse team, exercise flexibility and willingness to help in making necessary compromises to accomplish their goal, assume shared responsibility for collaborative work, and value the individual contribution made by each team member. Now this is how it looks like. So how do we even if you're working in a company or a school, what will you do to build that skill? You can give them a group project. They can work collaboratively on a document. They can also we can have a quiz competition, and we can also give them a problem based learning or a project learning in a group so that they can work and write a report together. This can also be a form of a student club, that and it could also be a form of robotic or a music thing. There are people who are not comfortable in speaking in a group, so we can also have a breakout room in Zoom so that they can speak in the people that they are comfortable with, and then they can come up with the idea if they're not comfortable in the classroom, and they contribute their ideas. And group investigation, so these are the types where you can build the collaborative skills with them. And it also be a form of a seminar or so a webinar that you can organize. This skill is very, very important because of the digital age, the effective communication. So it either in a verbal form, written form, or in the ICT related form. You should be able to write proper emails to communicate clarity, what exactly is expected from you. To make the communication effective, what all you need? You need a clarity, you need coherence, you need conciseness, you need purposeful, the message can be received and it's understandable. That is very, very important. So the communication is very important in the digital age. The student needs to make connection with their recreational writing and the writing skill. They need to become successful beyond the classroom. Student can be able to effectively analyze and process the overwhelming amount of information in their life. Which information sources are accurate and reliable, because the source of information is ample on internet, but which is the site which is authentic and has a correct information, they should have that knowledge. Which one are not, and how can they use it effectively is very important. So the power of modern media and the ubiquity of the communication technologies is all aspect of life, making teaching strong communication skill even more important. So that is really, really important. So how will they articulate? They articulate thoughts and idea effectively. Why? How? Oral, written, and non-verbal communication. They should have a listening skill so that they can reciprocate. And the knowledge, values, attitude, and intention. Use communication for a range of purpose like to inform, to instruct, to motivate, or to pursue. Utilize media and technology effectively, and communicate effectively in diverse environment, which also include multilingual. So now if we talk about creativity, that is also one of the most important thing. So what comes under creativity? It is producing something which does not exist beyond, such as a product, a process, a theory, artwork, or a solution. Developing a new, unique, diverse, and useful idea, and thinking about and looking at the things from a different perspective. So, when we talk about how you develop critical thinking in your teaching, you can just go about investigation tasks, which are not always have a clearly defined, but also have some element of uncertainty and does not have a clear cut answer, so that it gives them a scope to enhance their understanding, and then they can reflect on that and evaluate. And then moreover, beside that, they should be able to justify that why their idea works. So evaluating ideas and valuing adding values to them by identifying the most reasonable one, and that's the most likely to succeed out of the all four parameters given. So when we talk about in terms of understanding creativity, creativity can be fostered in everyone. Everyone has some creative element. Creativity seen as a conclusion of cognitive abilities and domain related knowledge. It is also a personal qualities, environmental influence. Creativity is enhanced by the ability to make connection between the ideas. So, when we talk about further creativity in the classroom, how do you foster among your student? One is the skill that you have to build in the student by making them doing certain activities or giving them some task to foster that skill or bring the creative element in them. So, the first thing is that they should be offered a challenging task. They should be encouraged to be a risk taker because that is really important in real life scenario. Tolerate ambiguity, obviously. Provide ample response time. You can give them a week time to think, reflect, and research. Model and encourage flexibility. Allow students choice, foster growth mindset, and accept children who they are. So, to become a creative student must learn to think creatively, use a wide range of ideas that is called as brainstorming techniques, create new and worthwhile idea, both incremental and radical concept, elaborate, refine, analyze, and evaluate their own ideas in order to improve and maximize creative efforts. Be open and responsive to new and diverse perspective. Incorporate group inputs and feedback into the work because in the real life you're working with different types of people and you should have an open-minded approach to listen to their idea and incorporate and work as a team. Demonstrate originality and initiativeness in work. Sorry, it's inventiveness in the work and understand the real world limits to adopting new ideas. View failures as an opportunity. Very important point that it works. Maybe at times the idea seems very nice, and when you work on that, it doesn't turn out. So you should be able to reflect and accept the loopholes and work on it further. To understand the creativity and innovation is a long-term cyclical process of small successes and frequent mistakes. So mistakes is a stepping stone of success. Implement innovation, which is also the most important point to go about. So, what are the activities that actually brings in creativity? That is reworking or example defining scientific term. So maybe there is some experiments already have done. So you can also rework on that idea and and it could be improvise in your manner, like how you may improvise the existing work and secondly, if you can give them a story writing and or you can just say that how does a school of 2020 looks like. So some future thinking skills that you are developing. So that also leads to creativity. It's also fun for them to design logos. So how does a logo looks like and justify that what is why you have designed that and then working in a team and improving. So it's called as altering. Now, the last one, the skills that we are talking about is really really important, and that is something which is the very highlighted one, which I'm taking it in the last, is a critical thinking in the classroom, which is really important in everyone's life as an individual. So when you talk about critical thinking and how it develops the skills, such as it helps us for a higher level concentration, deeper analytical abilities, and improved thought processing. So, to become a critical thinker, student needs to learn to reason effectively, use various type of reasoning that is inductive, deductive as appropriate to the situation, use system thinking, that means okay, organized way, analyze how part of a whole interact with each other to produce overall outcome in a complex system. To become a critical thinker, the student needs to learn to make judgment and decision, effectively analyze and evaluate evidences with the arguments, claim, and belief, analyze and evaluate major alternate point of view, synthesize and make connection between information and argument, interpret information and draw conclusion based on the best analysis, reflect critically on learning experiences and processes, solve problems, solve different kind of non-familiar problem in both conventional and innovative way, identify and ask significant question that clarifies various points of view and lead to the better solution. Moving on, how do you inculcate in the classroom and what activity that you will go? First thing is differentiating. So if we talk about mitosis and meiosis, why, what is the difference and how they're going to go about? So let them do the things on their own, or maybe you can just give them a picture and ask them to observe and see what and why of it. Like in my case, I just give them some I would say a stone, and I ask them find the area of it. So there are various perspective that you can wrap a paper around because it's not a perfect maths shape. So and then you open and see what is the area covered, or you can use graph paper and count number of squares. Some people use Archimedes principle by dipping it into water, find the volume, and then maybe considering in a shape of an oval or something and finding the area of it. So there's a various way of approaching. Sorting is also one of the things. You can give them a task and sort them as per the understanding or analytical skills. You can also give them some business what do you call case study, and ask them to analyze the pro and co of what it works and what are the good points and what are the bad points. You can also give them to solve a rubric group and find generalize the statement, the algebraic what do you call expression behind solving a Rubik cube. That is a maths part of it. So, moreover, you can also ask them to develop an Android app for your school, or how do you improvise a given situation, or theoretically, you can have your own theory and finding based on the scenario given. So, these are the way of developing the critical thinking in your classrooms, and the task can be varied. Moreover, I think the ICT we cannot forget, which is the very important tool which integrates together. So you can use various tools to integrate the collaboration of 4 C's, like it could be Kahoot, which can also be played an online quiz in a team mode. Ed Puzzle is a one which helps enhance knowledge. Then you have whiteboard. You can collaborate with like Venn diagrams and all through whiteboard sharing with the kids. GeoGebra, Nearport, Google Drive. These are the tools. Zoom meetings, because you can have a breakout room if you're doing online classes, or you can have online meetings and you can just break them and let the idea flow, and they can come back together to collaborate what they have discussed. So this is one of the part which integrate. So how you gonna go with the 4 C's together? You can organize a competition, engineering report writing competition. You can organize a webinar. You can also have a conference based on that. You can have art exhibition. You have a group presentation, which leads to the combination of all 4 C together in a task, or in your classroom, or in your business meeting, or in your life. That's how you're going to go about. So the 4 C's are interrelated and work together in the generation, examine, analysis, interpretation, evaluation, and improvement of information and idea. Are not new concept for the education. In fact, they are the basis of great teaching, and the most teachers aspire to teach in a manner that incorporates these strategies. So if you talk about this, these are the extension of it. You can also build these skills. You can even get these skills from podcast, community workshop toolkit. How do you enhance or learn? Community learning scan, information successful, and resource library. So that's all from my side. If you have any question, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Dr. Priyanka. If you can stop sharing your screen, audience can have a better view of you. Thanks a lot. Yes. There are around 14 questions, ma'am, and you have covered pretty much everything. But if you'd like to elaborate on these questions, audience will have a better idea. Okay.
Mhm.
So, are you ready to take the questions, ma'am?
Definitely.
Yes. So the first question is, can you elaborate on specific examples of how adaptability and innovation play a role in successful leadership within the context of 21st century?
If you go about, there's a 1 minute. There's a model where initially, if you talk about there are three people which were the stakeholder for the innovation in school, and if those are basically the a policy maker, which brings in the policy, and the business entrepreneur who execute, and the third one is the combination of four C's. So in that case, if you talk about innovation, like if I give the example from my school, we are teaching design thinking, we are teaching innovative curriculum where people don't think only about themselves, they have an empathy map that what is exactly the people want, and how they have a broader perspective with the technology integration to it. So if we talk about like social entrepreneurs, that brings the innovation. So if you talk about there are certain social entrepreneur which based on innovation, like for example there's a water scarcity, these skills are used, like people have those filtration pipe which is very cost effective. So the pipe already has a filter and you can directly sip the pipe from the lake water and you get the filter thing. So that is an innovation, right? So and there are innovative idea where people are reluctant to have iodine in their meal, so they design a bindi. The IIT people come up with that, which has a iodine because we require it in a very very small amount. And when you put that thing on your feet, because this is what Indian culture is, they get that supplement naturally. So there are different way of going ahead with the these are the example of innovation that I am giving you. And moreover, I think a very basic thing is like if you talk about this Seco, this electricity company, they also make profit, but they also work with the villagers. They provide what do you call the free installation of what do you call no sorry, they give you sorry, I'll just elaborate with one more example. This Seco is a electric company which deals with solar panel. They ask the villagers to take loan, and they're not giving free because they're entrepreneur. But it is a good innovation that helps them to have electricity. Moreover, they can have their own business. Like they have a roti making machine, they run their restaurant, their swimming machines runs on electricity. So electricity has made their life, and they're able to give the debt back. And the government is also being tied up, because that is where the communication skill and collaboration skills comes in a picture, where they give you a loan at a very cheaper rate of interest, so they don't have to go to the local vendors or landlord. And that's how the win-win situation come for the government, for the company, as for the localite. So that is the example of innovation and the inculcation of these four C's.
So
Can I have
coming to
an
the technology, ma'am, in your
yeah.
perspective, how can leaders leverage technology to enhance their leadership skills in the modern workspace?
To be honest, I feel that the corona thing has made the world really small, and I think the Zoom meetings and all these, I mean, that has made a collaboration a very easy process. And if you want to see a hand-on experience that I have introduced in my slide, like ICT, like Nearport, or there are technology where you can even see people contributing live in the discussion. So even that same features are there in Zoom meeting as well, because so that way I think you can contribute, you can meet the leaders of conference we have, and we can exchange ideas. And moreover, not only verbal but also a written communication can happen at the same time, where collaboratively we are working on a like we can type, or because there are ways of learning. It's not only a verbal but also a written skills. So that way I think that plays a very important role to come together and share idea all over the world, because it's now the era of globalization. So that's
Right.
what I feel.
So, what strategies do you recommend for developing strong communication skills in in leaders?
I really feel that you should read books, you should do a lot of reading. And currently, because I follow a leaders group there, what they do, they started a book club where they all come together for 1 hour in a week. I think you should read books 15 minutes every day on leadership, and enhance, continuously enhance, because if you have knowledge, then only you can speak, contribute, and share. And the open mindedness thing is there. So reading is something is very important tool as a communication. And then they all come up together and they share their ideas. So they share a common book, either it could be a philosophical or even inculcating leadership qualities in them. So the bestsellers book they all read, and they come and they share their perspective and philosophy that enhance themselves. And when they are leading the team, they inculcate the same quality in their subordinates. So that's how you should go about.
I think the same information will answer the next question too. The next question is, how can leaders balance the need for traditional expertise with the demand for continuous learning and skill development? So reading is one option. Can you elaborate on that, ma'am?
To be honest, the traditional learning will give you a head start. You need to have a basic knowledge and you cannot ignore that. But if you really want to sustain for a longer time, you have to be a lifelong learner. If you talk about AI, many people think that AI will take over our job because if you talk about chat GPT, it's like doing everything for us, writing mails to even solving the maths problem, I'm telling you. And I mean, a very nice manner. But then we have to learn to live with the AI and inculcate AI in our teaching. So I think you should have a mindset of lifelong learning and adapting, because even if the phone, if you have, your knowledge is outdated in just even one day, you can learn new things. So I think you should have a mindset of lifelong learning and adapting.
Miss Priyanka, are you there? Request the audience to stay there. I think there is some technical glitch. Just a second, I'll come back. Yeah, ma'am. I have admitted you again, so you can continue. Ma'am, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Ma'am, can you hear me? Ma'am, are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry, there's a power cut, so I got disconnected.
No issues. You can continue your talk. I have informed the audience.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, it was communication I'm talking about. And can you
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes,
so
please.
yeah, that the reading book club is really helpful, and you know with the then the discussion with the group leaders and discussing, because there are forums which have online meeting, and they talk about the challenges and the good practices of being a leader, and the situation also they discuss that how difficult situations they face and how they deal with that, and what could be the optimum solution if such situations comes in a picture. So they talk about their personal experiences and how they go about with that, and to enhance their leadership thing, I think they have book club, they read, they have a platform on Facebook, WhatsApp, and other ICT media where they can post their if they have come up with a new they have any query, or they're being new to the institution or a leadership position, they get a lot of support. So there the collaboration part comes in a picture. Can
Okay,
I
thank
have
you.
an
So, how do emotional intelligence and empathy contribute to successful leadership in a rapidly changing and interconnected world, ma'am?
Yes, because now the empathy has taken over the sympathy. So it's very important because like to understand your employee. If I talk about the business model of Tata, I think they are the one who have started a social entrepreneur where they talk about their employee and they take care of their employee, and they also talk about like it's a privatization. There are many institutions who values their employee and do things that support. Like if you talk about Google or if you talk about some of the schools as well, if I have my kid and also they understand that the parents are working, both of the parents are working, so they provide incentive or very nominal way of crutch for our kids and all, so that we can sustain, we can see our child also, and we can give our 100%. So that is one thing. And they even support like the employees by they have budget for their skill upgrade, which every school expect their employee to have. They also have fair policies, they have open things them. And I really feel that like the institution where even I am working, they do take care of a family. Like even the Google or the institute which I am associated with, though they take care of our kids. Like if we are busy for 12 hours of job, they make sure that they provide crutch if my kid is toddler, or they provide free education, or they provide nominal education, and even the other institute. So I think that way, and even the upgrading the employee in terms of skills and building their knowledge and sending them for the training is also one of the way of supporting them, and so that they can be more productive. And being empathy also, like it also helps them in a understanding. Like I'm sorry, again I am getting, because I teach a innovative curriculum. So you should know the audience whom you're working with, right? What are their need, what exactly they want is very important. So having a listening ear in case if there is a problem in the with them, like if they're having some adjustment problem, and understanding their need and that is also I feel is very important. Because I think my principal and I should be open enough that the employee can walk into your cabin and can speak if somebody is bullying them, or if there's somebody is playing office politics to them. The HR also plays a very important role in that case, because you can at least have exit interviews, or if the employee is not happy, so they take feedback that what is going wrong with them, that so many people are leaving, and what they should do to retain them, what are the problems. And they are, if they are changing, then I think the employees are also sustaining in that case. So they need to understand the employee need also. Yeah.
So, coming to the challenges, ma'am, what are the biggest challenges leaders face in developing and honing these skills?
Honestly, when I was doing some case studies of a successful leader, the funniest part is that when you hire a skilled employee, right? The skilled employee, if the skills I'm talking, he will analyze, he will speak, he will question. So as a leader, if you're working with four intelligent people who have a thinking brain, to make them work as a team is a very challenging, because there are clashes of the thought, and they working together is also very difficult to manage. Like if I just doing a case, I was this Alibaba thing, I was just having a case study of him. It's like starting with, you hire a skill and give right job to a right person, that is very important. So if just you should be having an ability to analyze, identify that this person is good at this. Because if you work in a group, some are good at experimenting, some are good at analyzing, some are executing, some are writing, some are presenting. So you should either group them with the different skills to bring out the effectiveness of it. And the challenge is, like when you all intelligent people work together, the clashes to manage that is also one of the biggest challenge. Yeah.
So, what are some effective strategies for leading with empathy in these kind of challenging situations?
I think you should have a very patient and listening ears to them. That if what they have to say, you have to listen and imbibe wherever it is possible, and having little liberal attitude towards them. I think giving them little bit flexibility to work as per their own zone is very important. Not everybody has the same comfort level of working or have flex. So I think giving them flexibility is something which is important, and being giving them realistic deadlines, and following giving them realistic deadline is also one of the part. And secondly, I think being more flexible uh, to them, and that is also one I feel that can help.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. That ends the question answer round. School Journal of Education and schoolreformer.com. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. The audience, because of the technical glitch, you had to wait for a couple of seconds, and ma'am is back. We also thank the audience for participating in the event. Anything else you want to mention, Dr. Priyanka?
No, thank you so much for inviting me for this at this forum. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll end the meeting now.
Yeah.